Today we are talking about the shopper tote and more specifically the mini shopper tote versus the nano shopper tote. We're going to go through the size comparison of both, what's the differences between the interiors, and ultimately what fits inside of both. So let's get into it. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name's Jonathan. I make luxury videos, unboxings, and reviews. And today we are comparing the mini shopper tote with the nano shopper tote. So let's get into it. So starting off right into today's video, the mini shopper tote comes in at 5,200 Canadian dollars and the nano shopper tote comes in at 4,150 Canadian dollars. So there is about a 1,050 Canadian dollar difference. So do keep that in mind. However, the mini size that they do advertise, in my opinion, is considered more so as an MM. And then the larger size that they do have is, in my opinion, considered more of a GM. So don't be fooled, even though this is a mini size, it technically fits so much. However, the nano size is a true nano bag and doesn't necessarily fit as much as you would think. So now taking a look at the size, you can obviously see that there is a huge size difference between the two. So here's what it looks like side by side. And then here is what it looks like on the side. And then just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like in front of one another. And then the bottom of the bag. So you can see that this one will fit a ton more. And then the bottom of the nano. And then the interior, personally speaking, I prefer the interior of the mini over the nano. So I do have an organizer in here, but I'll try to show you guys. In the interior of the mini shopper tote, you do get a zipper closure towards the back of the handbag here, which I haven't used personally, but I think it is a really great touch. So I use my zipper on my Speedy and it just carries some important documents in there. Granted, I haven't carried those documents with this bag, so if I do want something secure, I'm happy to have that kind of option. And then on the reverse side of it, you do get just two slip pockets. So I do tend to use those. However, because I have the organizer, I use the organizer slip pockets instead. But when I was rocking it without the organizer for a bit, I did use those and put like my card holders and stuff like that. So you do get a few organizational aspects with the mini. However, comparison with the nano, you only get a slip pocket at the back here and there's no zipper. And on the other side, it is just completely empty. So you only get one organizational aspect to it. And I personally just put my card holder in there just so that way I don't stretch it out too much. But now that we've gotten the size out of the way as well as the interior differences, let's ultimately see what fits inside of each. So let's go ahead and start off with the mini shopper tote. So I did bring some essentials with me. So this is everything that I would carry with me to work on a day-to-day basis. My weekend carry obviously doesn't include all of these things just because I tend to carry a little bit less with me. However, first things first, it is going to be my toiletry 19, and this is in the Damier Abin print. And how I usually pack this is I would usually take out the silica gels that I usually keep inside. I don't usually carry that with me, as well as I always carry the tag for the bag inside when I'm storing it, but when I'm not, I usually put it in the dust bag. And so for the toiletry 19, I usually just put it right at the back there, just because it's not something that I need to grab constantly. And then if you're not new to my channel, you're going to know what this is. This is my Metro Pass. So it is my 6 keyring holder in monogram. Absolutely love this piece. If I have to put you on to another SLG other than pocket organizers, this is your guy. And so this carries my Metro Pass as well as my work tokens. And so I usually put this in a slip pocket just so that way I can have easily access to it. And then the next thing that I bring with me is obviously going to be my key holder, and it just houses my car key as well as an extra glasses cleaner just because my glasses always get super dirty. And I usually put that up against the 19. And then I have my wallet, which is in reverse monogram and monogram. I will also put that in one of the slip pockets for easier access. And then this one is completely optional. I don't tend to carry it with me too much, but this is the business card holder in monogram, and this just houses some extra gift cards, store cards, loyalty cards, like anything miscellaneous that I don't really want to bulk up my wallet, which is why I can get away with using a card holder most of the time, or even pocket organizers, because I don't overstuff them and I have this guy to do so. And so I'll put that as well in there. So this is what we are looking like. And yes, I'm very type A, so I love to have my bag looking organized on the interior. And then I do bring some gum with me in the event that I need to freshen my breath. And then one thing that I do put just on the top are my AirPods and my office keys. I just put them at the top like that. I haven't figured out a good way to kind of have those in my bag. I'm not necessarily too worried about the keys scratching the interior just because I do have that organizer. However, I am kind of wary about having those floating around, but so far it hasn't caused any issues. And then the last thing that I bring with me is just going to be my sunglasses. This is obviously just for summertime right now. I wouldn't wear these in the winter. And so I just usually put those right on top, like so. So that way it kind of like hides everything underneath it. So nobody can kind of like look into my bag and see what is all in there. The sunglasses kind of like protect it in that way. And then that's pretty much what I carry inside of my mini shopper tote. It doesn't feel too heavy. And to be honest, for the most part, I do carry this one top handle. And so you can obviously fit a few more things in here, but in my opinion, for me at least, this is max capacity. But now let's go ahead and show you what fits inside of the Nano. Okay, so let's switch these two guys around and let us get into the Nano. So I'm going to start taking some of these stuff out because I already know that my sunglasses will not fit inside of the Nano, or at least it will, but then I cannot fit anything else. So let's be a little bit more practical. So take this out, take this out, that, 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 and my 19. So obviously the Toiletry Pouch 19 is not going to fit inside of the Nano. It is probably bigger than the actual bag itself. But let's go ahead and see if the 15 will fit inside. I obviously could fit it, but I feel like, yeah. So it does fit inside of the bag. However, it'll take up majority of the space. So let's take this out for now, just because we want to see if we can fit more than just one thing inside of there. And so the first thing that I'm going to put in, which is mandatory, is going to be my car key fob as well as my pouch. And that fits perfectly inside of here. So I'm going to put that right up against the back, similar to what I would have done for the 19. And then, as I mentioned earlier, my card holder, I usually put it in the slip pocket. So you can see that it just completely hides in there. So that is cute. And then let's see, maybe I'll put the gum there as well. Okay, nice. And then I will put my 6 key ring holder standing up. And then my extra card holder. So this is what we're working with right now. So it does fit majority of the stuff in there. And then similar to the shopper tote, I will just put in the keys and my AirPods right at the top there. So, and then does it close? Yes, she does. Okay, so that is everything that will fit inside of the Nano. So essentially, only thing that I could not fit inside was everything that I carry in my 19 as well as my sunglasses. However, if I realistically wanted to, I would only take my extra fragrance just for top-ups, as well as my Louis Vuitton lip balm. And I would be shocked if that did not fit in here. Let's see. Let's try to open her up. So it looks like I would have to do some reconfiguring, but oh, it looks like there is a space. Perfect. Okay, we are working here. So I was able to fit both the lip balm as well as my fragrance right beside the card holder as well as my car key pouch, and it'll still close perfectly. Let's see. Perfect. This is absolutely packs a punch and fits a ton of stuff in there. Obviously, if you need to carry more with you, the mini size is probably going to be your best bet. And then if you obviously carry a lot with you, the size is going to be your best bet. But currently, the nano size only comes in the saffron color, and I can understand that it won't be for everybody. But I'm happy that it fits majority of my stuff in there. I could totally live without this just because the other thing that I could bring with me, I'll probably, yeah, I could probably make it work is my pouch for my charging cable, just in case. And then everything else is just like an extra glasses cleaner and a lighter that I don't necessarily need. Okay, perfect. So honestly, this does fit my daily essentials in there as well. And I am very fortunate to be able to have both sizes in my collection. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this kind of content or simply want to see more of me, then definitely hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.